Right, it's time we talk about Nicolas Jackson. Nicolas Jackson, for me, is the most underrated, overhated Premier League striker right now. Now, we're going to dive into it in this video and why I think this. The guy is 22 years old. In his debut season in the Premier League, in 32 appearances, he scored 13 goals and got 5 assists. He's been a talisman for Chelsea, kind of one of the most bright sparks for them, let's be honest, this season. And those goal contributions, 18 goal contributions in 32 games in your Premier League debut season at that age, I think is actually a really decent return. Not only that, he's been vital for Chelsea's recent form and the fact that they've kind of flown up the table and all of a sudden they are now above Manchester United. Sitting in 7th spot, they could easily get European football, which is absolutely mental. When you think about Chelsea, we've spoken about the inconsistencies, and the only consistency from them this season has been the inconsistencies and the fact that they've underperformed all year. But for me, Jackson kind of became the scapegoat at times, and I think now we look at it, the fact that Chelsea have got all of those players who were injured earlier on in the season, they're all back, they're all fully fit, they're fighting. Nicolas Jackson as number 9, the focal point, has been absolutely electric, and I think some of the array and the difference in goals, he's scored absolutely everything. He's scored screamers, he's scored tap-ins, he's scored a lot of headers, and I know we speak about the fact that he's missed a lot of big chances. Don't get me wrong, he definitely has, and we highlighted that earlier on in the season. I think that's where kind of a lot of the hate came from, a lot of the slander came from. But overall, you look at it as a season, I think he's had a really solid season, especially more recently. You talk about these moments and the fact that he's missing the chances, but the fact that he still scored over 10 goals this season, he scored 13 goals in a struggling Chelsea side, I think he's been absolutely vital for them. And I know Cole Palmer obviously has been absolutely electric playing on that right and kind of in that number 10, kind of switching between the two positions. But I think him and Jackson recently have been really linking up well nicely. And we talk about Jackson and his hold-up play and the way he brings other players into it. And I think him going out on the left for a bit of time has really helped him, because he's seen his confidence has come back. The ability, the way he drives at players is absolutely crazy. I can't think of any strikers like him right now in the Premier League. And I know a lot of people have tried to throw comparisons to him with Darwin Núñez, kind of playing on that left sometimes and playing up top, but I think Darwin Núñez is a lot more erratic. Darwin Núñez is 2 years older. Darwin Núñez had 2 full seasons now in the Premier League, and Nicolas Jackson is pretty much matching him in the Premier League already, going head-to-head with him for goals and assists. They're not far off each other this season. I think Nicolas Jackson has got so much more to give, and that's what I really like, and I think he's really exciting as a prospect, and I think he's a really good player, and I don't think that Chelsea really needs to go out and buy a focal point, a number 9, like Osimhen has been linked. I think Nicolas Jackson is the answer to Chelsea. I think they've got to stick with him, similar to what they've done with Pochettino. Now, I know there were a lot of question marks earlier on in the season when it came to Pochettino, when it came to Chelsea, and a lot of people going, sack him, get rid of him, Pochettino's wrong, what on earth, no one knows what he's doing, like he doesn't have a clue, his best team. Well, you've got to apply context to this. Now, I know we speak about injuries quite a lot when it comes to the Premier League, and everyone gets injuries, don't get me wrong, but Chelsea were very unlucky with a lot of their injuries they faced this season. But Nicolas Jackson kind of has been there throughout the season. I said 32 appearances in the Premier League this season. Considering they've only played 36 games, that's massive. He just shows you how important he has been to this side. And such a young age, he's showing so much promise. And what I love about this, he only cost 30 million. To get that amount of goals and assists, 18 goal contributions in 32 games for 30 million, it's a bit of a steal, to be honest, especially in today's market when you compare and throw comparisons to other players and you think about the other fees. You talk about Darwin Núñez, a man that was over £70 million. And it's like context. Look at the two. A younger player, a more exciting player, a player that's more convincing in front of goal, less erratic. I think Darwin Núñez is, for some reason, gets put on this kind of pedestal. Everyone goes on about his chaos and things. Whereas Nicolas Jackson has got a lot of hate. Now, I think it's because a lot of it was because Chelsea did become the banter side, didn't they, when they were underperforming like they were. Everyone was excited to see them, me including. I kind of maybe gave them too much stick at times, but also before the season started, I was kind of really expecting bigger things. But I think looking back and kind of giving it context, I think it was probably a bit too soon. And I think where we can really start viewing and really getting a full understanding of Chelsea is probably next season, when they've had a full season, kind of all these youth players that have been thrown in. It's all their second season. Like, they've got more time to kind of hold down their positions, kind of understand more of Pochettino's starting 11. And I think with Nicolas Jackson at the helm, at the top of that side, I think they'll be really, really good going into next season. I think he's had a very, very good season, a very solid player. What I like about him is, as I said, it's kind of, I know the comparisons come to Darwin Núñez because a lot of people say, oh, he's a bit erratic, but I think he's very calculated. Like, when you watch him play, you can see what he's trying to do all the time. Like, the difference with Darwin Núñez, as I said, he's a bit more chaotic. Nicolas Jackson, he's a confident player. You see straight from the start of this season, he was driving at players, and his ball progression is ridiculous. Like, you think of games like specifically against Brighton and other performances where he's taking the ball from inside his own half, driving at teams. You don't see many strikers do that. Then, as you said, his hold-up play, he's very technically gifted. He's a very skillful player as well. He's kind of got that nice little bit of flair to him, which I kind of really like to see in strikers. A bit similar to Isak. I know Isak's obviously on another level, but he's kind of got moments like Isak with the way he drives at players and the way he dribbles at players, and that's why he can play on that left-hand side as well. But what I like about him is he's scored, as I said, a range of goals, and I think that's the big part for me. I think in the air he's extremely strong, and that's what I really like about him. I think he's kind of been improving quietly and kind of gone under the radar quite a bit. 13 goals, as I said, in your first campaign as a 22-year-old striker with a lot of pressure and a struggling side. I think he's a really good return, and I think that's why next season I'm excited to see what he can do, and I'm excited to see where he goes. And I'd like to think that him and Cole Palmer can carry on this kind of the work them two are doing together, then with Mudryk on the one side and Madueke on the other. I think as a front four, when we've seen Chelsea play with a 4-2-3-1, even when Enzo's been dropped with Gallagher, Caicedo, Cucurella, and players like that, kind of they look like they're now got a bit of what's the word? A bit of consistency, and I think that's extremely important, because when you look at strikers and when we talk about strikers and we say, oh, so and so is not performing, you've kind of got to add a bit of context and think, okay, the inconsistency with the squad doesn't help. He doesn't know he can't form any relationships with players. And that's what I think has been massive for Chelsea, especially with injuries and things. And now we're seeing kind of a consistency within the side. As I said, that front four with Mudryk on the left, Madueke on the right, and then Cole Palmer is a bit of a free role, has then allowed Jackson kind of to form relationships with all of them. And you've seen it in moments like even the Madueke this weekend when he was driving through at West Ham and then passed it across, and then you've got Nicolas Jackson to tap it into an empty net. That wouldn't have happened earlier on in the season. I think that comes from Pochettino now working out his side, having the injuries, kind of that injury list that was ridiculous going on forever, kind of that's been dropped. And now you see Nicolas Jackson kind of becoming that main man for Chelsea, as in the number 9. Obviously, Cole Palmer will always be the main man, but I'm saying the main man leading the line. He's kind of making that position his own, and a lot of people were linking Chelsea to Vlahovic. I said Osimhen, Solanke, Isak, Tony. There's so many players, but I can't look at it. I think the answer to all of their problems is staring right in front of them, in their face. And I think Nicolas Jackson has had a very solid season. I think he will be the main man next season. Let me know, as I said, down in the comment section below, whether you think I'm being crazy here. Hopefully you'll understand kind of my point of view and my reasoning from this video. But yeah, I'm excited to see what he can do next season. I think, as I said, he's probably been the most underrated player this season, and it's been a really good positive signing, and especially when you look at kind of the list of all those signings, I think really when you compare him to a lot of them, he's been one of the best in this Bowley era, and especially in this Pochettino era. And I'd like to see what he can do next season. I think he will bag at least 15 goals again next season. I think he'll become a really consistent, solid striker, and I think he's the answer to Chelsea's problems. Rather than just throwing more money at the problem, why don't they stick to it as they have done with Pochettino? But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. I'm intrigued to see whether Chelsea can get European football, but if they do, Cole Palmer and Jackson and Gallagher will be the main reasons for that. But as I said, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Please do smash the like button. Please do subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm doing my daily uploads at the moment, so don't forget to click the notification bell for lots of more content, and comment down below any other ideas you'd like me to talk about, any kind of things going on in football. But thank you for watching. BucketHatSam over and out. Thank you. Goodbye.